Welcome, friends. My name is Newa Chika, and I'm so excited to walk this journey with you for the next couple of moments. So, a couple of years ago, I heard a statement that says 90% of the world's wealth is controlled by 10% of the people. And it's only the 10% of the people that seems to live beyond average. It's only 10% of the people that seems to live life on their own terms. Only 10% of the people who live life where they want to, when they want to, and spend time with the people they love and care about. The rest have to wake up in the morning, go to a job they don't like, work with people they don't like. But I'm not here to present to you a problem. I'm here to present to you a solution. I'm here to say that things could get better. Things have become better for thousands of people who have been introduced to the same concept that you are about to be introduced to. So for the next moments, guys, hang in there, stay tuned. This could be a life-defining moment for you, because it has been for me. Thank you very, very much. So I had the privilege of being part of an amazing organization called Fox Nation. That is a movement that enables individuals to create the ultimate life experience. And that we achieve by looking at a powerful business concept. And that is what led us to partner with a company called Mining City. The word says itself, Mining City. It's a mining organization. Now, unlike what you probably used to, we're not mining gold, silver, platinum, but we are mining the new era of currency, cryptocurrencies. You might have heard of Bitcoin and you probably think it is a scam. Well, I'm not here to convince you it's not. But for the next moment, we'll be taking you through what is Bitcoin? When was Bitcoin formed? Why Bitcoin? Why is it so powerful? Why are companies investing billions of dollars into this concept? Stick around as Mr. Lolabo Fololo takes you through the history and the future of Bitcoin.
So let me tell you how I got introduced into Bitcoin. I remember the year was 2015. At the time, I had my own real estate company, and just like all other markets, are cyclical. The real estate market was really going through the most at the time. So I wanted an alternative because I had so many people depending on my income. I had my own family, had my siblings, and I had my mother that I had to take care of. And I remember a friend of mine who I'd met the same year, who were in some other business together. He basically invited me to a wealth seminar. Now, in this wealth seminar, they taught about 4 wealth building strategies. One was Bitcoin, of which they didn't even go deep in terms of what Bitcoin is and why it exists and what problem is here to solve. They just said, if you want to learn about Bitcoin, we think it's a currency that's going to change the world. But there is a separate seminar that you can attend at a price of 5,000 Rand, of which at the time I was really broke. I couldn't be able to attend that seminar. The other strategy they spoke about was gold. How to invest in gold and why invest in gold. They spoke about the Forex market. They also spoke about the property or the real estate market, how one can invest into the real estate market. Now, I was more inclined, to the Bitcoin investment, but then I did not have the 5,000 Rand. So a year later, I got introduced again to Bitcoin, but this time around, the people that introduced me to Bitcoin really did a great job in teaching me what Bitcoin is, why it exists, what problem it's here to solve. Once I understood the magnitude of the problem that Bitcoin is here to solve, I knew that this was a very time-sensitive opportunity. And then 4 months, into me getting involved in Bitcoin, I had to shut down my real estate business and focus on educating and promoting Bitcoin because I knew that it's a time-sensitive opportunity, especially for ordinary people like me. So you're wondering, what is this Bitcoin? So Bitcoin is basically 3 things in one. Bitcoin is a currency just like your Rand, your dollar, and your British pound. So you're probably asking yourself, so if Bitcoin is like the Rand and the British pound, the Chinese yen, why then should I care what Bitcoin is? seeing that these currencies have been around for many, many years, and Bitcoin was just born 12 years ago. So let me tell you why. So as a currency, Bitcoin is very different to our traditional currencies, your rand, your dollar, and the Chinese yuan. So how is it different, you may ask? Bitcoin is the first of its kind. It's a currency that's not owned or controlled by any bank or any financial institution. In fact, I like the way some Chinese people actually call it. They call it the people's right currency. That's right, it is the people's right currency because it's the first of its kind where it's 100% owned and controlled by the people. Really a currency for the people, by the people. Now, as a currency, Bitcoin is not owned or controlled by any government. It's a first of its kind. It's a global currency that does not belong to any particular country. Now, Bitcoin as a currency tend to be deflationary. If you remember, the rand and the dollar and the Chinese yuan, all fiat currencies have one thing in common, and that is they are inflationary. So what do we mean by that? We mean that, your rand actually buys you less and less over time due to inflation. So what is inflation? Inflation is simply put, it's something that eats away at the buying power of your rand. If you look at what 100 rand can buy you today versus what it could buy you 5-10 years ago, you will see that there's actually quite a vast difference in terms of what your rand could buy. But then Bitcoin, on the other hand, actually does the opposite. Bitcoin appreciates in value over time, so that it buys you more and more over time. So why is it that one currency appreciates in value and the other currency actually loses buying power? It is simply because of how the two are created. Now, if you look at your rand, or your US dollar for that matter, there is no limit to how many rands or US dollars can be added onto circulation. And the more they add money onto circulation, the money that's already in circulation tends to lose buying power. So anything that's available in oversupply tends to lose its value. But Bitcoin, on the other hand, there will only be 21 million Bitcoins to ever exist. And no one can change that. No one can say, this thing is working so well, I think let's change it, let's add another 20 or 30 or 40 million Bitcoins, right? It is set at only 21 million Bitcoins to ever exist. Now, and even how these Bitcoins actually come into circulation, it's all at a predetermined rate. Now, if you look at your rand or your US dollar, very few people can tell you how many rands or US dollars are in circulation as we speak, or how many will be added by the end of 2025. But if you look at Bitcoin, on the other hand, the money supply, the monetary supply of Bitcoin, it is 100% transparent, 100% predictable, and there's no one who can change it, right? So you can choose any futuristic date and say 25 December 2025. Someone can calculate for you with 100% accuracy how many Bitcoins will exist at that particular time and moment. Revolutionary, right? So Bitcoin as a currency, it's actually more than just a currency. Remember I said Bitcoin is three things in one. So the second thing about Bitcoin, people who understand what Bitcoin is, what it's meant to do, tend to buy Bitcoin and use it as a store of value, as a commodity. So unlike buying gold, silver, and platinum to store value, to protect the buying power of their money, now investors can also buy Bitcoin, hold on to it, understanding that it is a much better store of value than all these other traditional commodities that you know, your gold, silver, and platinum. So Bitcoin then performs these two functions. It's a currency, meaning you can use it to buy stuff. Number two, it's a commodity, you can use it to store value. Now the third and the most exciting thing about Bitcoin is the fact that Bitcoin is a payment system on its own. If we compare it to the traditional fiat currencies, they've got one thing in common, and that is they are all useless without a third-party intermediary or payment system. In other words, if I've got $5,000 right now, and I need to send it to someone who is in America, it's impossible for me to do so without using a third party. Now, if the third party does not like me for whatever reason, they can actually refuse the transaction. Now, with Bitcoin, on the other hand, it is a peer-to-peer payment system whereby, it eliminates the need for a third party. So I could say to my friend in the USA, I could tell him, download a Bitcoin wallet, send me your Bitcoin wallet address, and then I will send you, Bitcoins equivalent to the $5,000 that I actually wanted to send him. So, and if this guy then, the friend of mine received these Bitcoins, he can then convert them to the US dollar in any exchange in the US. Right now, it's like, over 12 years of Bitcoin's existence, there's quite a lot of exchanges, that we call on-ramps and off-ramps, from fiat currencies into Bitcoin, right? So by doing this, if I'm sending Bitcoins to anyone, anywhere around the world, I can do so without the need of a third party, and the transaction is almost immediate. We're talking here a couple of seconds. Now, on the other hand, if I was using your traditional, your traditional payment systems like your PayPal, Western Union, MoneyGram, Mukuru, there's just so many of them. They charge between 5 and 30% of the actual transaction. So by using Bitcoin, as a payment system, now I get to save on transaction fees. I also get to save on time. It's like sending an email, right? If I'm sending an email to someone in China versus me sending an email to someone in South Africa, right? In fact, next to me, it's not that the email going to China will take much longer. It's all instant because of the power of the internet. And Bitcoin is the native currency of the internet, making payments, and transactions worldwide at the fraction of the cost, at the fraction of the time. That's what makes Bitcoin a serious world and game changer.
So we've just heard what Bitcoin is. Yes, it's a currency that can be used all over the world, irrespective of where you are. Yes, it's a payment system. You don't have to pay 5 to 30% of transaction fees. And yes, guess what? It is a digital commodity. In fact, Bitcoin has been rated one of the best performing assets since 2010. Do you know why? It's simple. People want a better currency. People want a better payment system. And guess what? When more people want something, the value of that which they want tends to grow. So what do I mean? It's quite simple. If I'm the only one in the whole nation who has a bottle of water, what happens to the value of my bottle of water? Everyone wants it, so it goes up. But what happens if someone comes with a whole truck of bottles distributed amongst all people? What happens to my bottle of water? It depreciates in value. It's the law of supply and demand. So the previous speaker said that there's only going to be 21 million Bitcoins in circulation. And there's over 7.8 billion people on the planet. You literally have 7.8 billion people chasing 21 million of these units of Bitcoin. And to date, there's already 18.8 million Bitcoins and only 2.2 million Bitcoins left to be accumulated. Now guess what, guys? I'm not going to bring you a problem without a solution. Because there are 3 ways that people make money in Bitcoin. Because of the value growth, some people take advantage by buying Bitcoin and keeping it. Because back in 2009, no one knew about Bitcoin, there was no demand, therefore there was no value. But in 2010, something happened. On the 22nd of May 2010, someone on an online platform wrote, anyone could bring me 2 pizzas, I would give them 10,000 Bitcoins. And so the world for the first time was going to witness a transaction take place online without a need of a third party, without a need of FICA documents, verifications of locations, or even a bank account. When that transaction was done, the world had witnessed a transaction take place online, and that day there was a bit of a buzz. So the more people began to inquire on what Bitcoin is, the more people began to discover the power of Bitcoin. And the more people discovered it, the more people wanted it. The more people wanted it, the more the value began to grow. 2010, 1 Bitcoin was just 140. That's 10 cents in dollars. 3 years later, that's about 2012, 1 Bitcoin was sitting at around $20, $30. We're talking about something about like 500, almost to 1,000 Rand per Bitcoin. I heard about Bitcoin in 2016, and 1 Bitcoin was 8,000 Rand. And we're talking about something like $400. And I didn't take advantage of it because I was skeptical. But when I looked at the facts and I was exposed to the reality of what Bitcoin is, just like we have been, I got involved a year later. And Bitcoin was no longer 8,000. It was no longer $400, but Bitcoin was 38,000 Rand per Bitcoin. It didn't wait for me to grow, it grew without me. As I'm speaking to you right now, it's now 2021. The value of Bitcoin is no longer 38,000 Rand. The value of Bitcoin is now over 500,000 rand. It's more than 500,000 rand, which is now over $37,000 per Bitcoin. Now the reality of it is that it's not going to stay here. It seems expensive today, but the reality of it is that in the next 3 years, it could be double or triple the value. And so what people then do, they start buying Bitcoins early. Now, the best time to buy Bitcoin was 2010 when one Bitcoin was 140. But the next best time is today. Now, you might be asking a question, do I need 500,000? Do I need $37,000? And the question is no, because that's just one of the ways you can accumulate Bitcoin. So number one, you can buy and hold Bitcoin, right? The disadvantage of buying and holding Bitcoin is that the value of Bitcoin continues to increase. So if you want to accumulate more, you need to pay out more money. So you constantly need to buy at a higher rate. The second way people make money with Bitcoin is to trade Bitcoin. Now, trading, you can make a lot of money in trading and you can lose a lot of money in trading. For you to become a good trader, you need to at least have 10,000 hours of mastery for you to be able to trade profitably. Now, the reality of it is that not a lot of us have 10,000 hours to spare. Not a lot of us have 10,000 hours to sacrifice for you to be able to make your first paycheck. So this is why I advocate for mining. So for you to understand mining, let me take you back to the story. So in 2009, a group of gentlemen on the 3rd of January connected their computers to the network of Bitcoin. Why did they do this? It was simple. The protocol and the code of Bitcoin had stipulated that if you had offered computational power to the network of Bitcoin, all the newly generated Bitcoins will be split or shared amongst the people who have connected their computational power. So, to put this into perspective, imagine 4 people connecting their computers to the network of Bitcoin. And 10 minutes later, 50 Bitcoins is received by either one of them. This means that every single day, 4 people would be sharing 7,200 Bitcoins amongst themselves. Why? Because 50 Bitcoins every 10 minutes was being put into circulation. Now, this process continued from 2009 up until 2012. And that is what we call the 4-year cycle of Bitcoin. So every 4-year cycle, the number of Bitcoins per 10 minutes halves. So between 2012 and 2016, 25 Bitcoins were being shared by the miners every 10 minutes. Between 2016 to 2020, 12.5 Bitcoins were being shared amongst the miners. And between 2020 and 2024, 6.25 Bitcoins is being shared amongst miners. So as we see, the supply of Bitcoin decreases over time. The demand for Bitcoin increases over time. What does that mean? The value of Bitcoin shoots up over time. And this is why every 4 years, Bitcoin jumps alloprotically. So this basically means that someone who had a computer back in 2009 could have left their computer connected to the Bitcoin network a day later, and they could come and look at their computer and actually see that they have more than 500 Bitcoins accumulated by their computer. Now, today, obviously, you're not using laptops because of the growth in mining and the growth in competition. Specialized computing has been required. And this is why today we have new generation equipment to mine Bitcoin. High-powered servers all across the world connected to the network of Bitcoin to compete, because everyone wants to accumulate Bitcoin. And the best way to accumulate Bitcoin has now since proven to be mining. So the real question is now, how could you become one of the people mining? It's quite simple. There are 2 ways you could go about it. You could either buy your own machines and start mining. But today, it's quite expensive to own your own machines. And in fact, not only is it expensive to own them, but it's expensive to run these machines because they really consume a lot of electricity, data, and also need a lot of cooling to operate them. But this is why we have Mining City. Mining City is one of the companies, in fact, the biggest company today on the planet that allows normal people to benefit from mining irrespective of where you are. Because the reality of that is not everyone can that has enough space to buy these computers and start mining. Not everyone has the technical know-how, and not even everyone can afford high electricity costs. So what Mining City then offers is an opportunity for you to rent these machines from them, and as long as you're renting these machines from them, you will be earning cryptocurrencies every single day for the next 3 years of your life. So what does this basically mean? This basically means that you have an opportunity now to choose a package. Now, remember, when Mining City distributes the amount of cryptocurrencies to its connected users, it does not distribute it equally. If I have one machine and you have rented 2 machines, it is quite obvious that the one with 2 machines rented would accumulate twice as faster as he who has one of these rented machines. Now, these rented machines are now called plans. So what you can now do, you can choose one of 6 plans. So the first plan that we have is the standard plan, $600 worth of mining power. Now, there's 6 terahash, and I'm going to explain to you what that 6 terahash actually means. Terahash is the unit measured to tell you how much computational power you have. Because if I have one machine and you have 2 machines, that obviously means that you will accumulate twice as faster than I am. So terahash is the unit telling you how much computational power you are renting from Mining City. So first up, we have the standard plan, $600, 6 terahash. Second up, we have the bronze plan, $1,200, and you can see 12 terahash. That gives you an indication that the bronze plan mines twice as more and twice faster as the standard plan. The third plan we have is the silver plan. It's $2,400. And as you can see, the terahash is 24. The next plan is the gold plan. The gold plan is $4,200. And as you can see, the terahash is 42. And lastly, we have the big boys plan. We call it the platinum plan. It's $12,600. And as you can see, you have a whopping 138 terahash. Now this basically means you mine more than 24 times more than the person buying a standard plan. Now guys, there's no limitation. You can own as much of these plans as you want. And I'm so excited because what Mining City has done, they have come up with a new cryptocurrency because they've discovered that many people will discover Bitcoin very late. Many people only can't start to mine Bitcoin at 500,000. And there's high competition, meaning that there's less rewards to be split amongst people. And so what about if I told you that you had an opportunity to mine a new coin? A coin that is much lower in value, it is not known by more people, but has equal the amount of potential to go to $30,000. What would you do if I told you of an opportunity where you could start, where you could go back to 2012 and start mining Bitcoin since then? Well, I got some good news. Because Mining City in 2019 introduced a new cryptocurrency. Now, people don't just introduce new cryptocurrencies. The cryptocurrency introduced must have a use case scenario. And this one had an improvement on what Bitcoin had been doing over the past 10 years. See, as great as Bitcoin has been, the only issue about it has been security. Meaning that if I stole 10 of your Bitcoins, there would be no way you could get it back from me. And so Mining City came up with a concept called Bitcoin Vault. And this cryptocurrency would have a reversibility function that would enable users to be able to reverse transactions done erroneously, or if you see that someone is stealing your Bitcoins, your Bitcoin vaults, you could essentially reverse it. We have seen a growth of more than 7,000% in just the space of 1 year. Now, with the success of that, Mining City was so encouraged to embark on a new journey in 2020. They decided to launch a new cryptocurrency again, and this one, it's called Electric Cash. And so what they've done with the Electric Cash concept is that they looked at the fact that at times Bitcoin transactions could literally be a bit expensive, especially when the value of Bitcoin is high. So what they've done is they've created a concept by which you could have a cryptocurrency that is almost free in transactions, and most importantly, instant in transaction speed. And that's where we have Electric Cash. And the demand for this coin has already proven to be on another level. And guess what? We literally see this coin going to 100,000, $5,000, $10,000. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but according to the problem it's solving and the community behind it, that's exactly where the coin could literally go to. And so what Mining City then offers you have an opportunity to mine either Bitcoin, Bitcoin Vault, or electric cash. Now I'm telling you again, right now as of 2021, I'm going for electric cash. I have all of them, and in fact, if you do have the money, you could start mining all of them. But if you want to have a catch-up game, if you want to be taken back to when the times were much more conducive for Bitcoin, I'm telling you, the next bet is electric cash. So the deal is this: you buy any of these plans, and Mining City will give you the opportunity to accumulate the digital asset of your choice every single day for 1,100 days. Without you needing to open your computer, you'll still be earning. Without the need of you understanding what everything is happening, you'll still be earning. Now that's the beautiful thing. Your mining power does the work for you. You accumulate, where now you have money working for you instead of you working for money. Now that's just one of the ways Mining City pays you.
As the previous speaker just explained, with Mining City, there are two ways of making money, which is called the mining and also the network marketing side. With mining side, it's medium to long term. But if you want to make business out of Mining City, you can do what you call the network marketing or the referral marketing. Because with Mining City, in order for you to be part of Mining City or to rent or to buy any plan, you need someone to refer. And if someone refers you with Mining City, which I've chose that side of referring people to Mining City or the network marketing. The network marketing, there are three bonuses that you can, you get paid from Mining City, which is called the first one, the matchup bonus, the binary bonus, and also the level up bonus. With the plans of Mining City, you get what you call credits. With standard plan, you get 1 credit. With bronze, you get 2 credits. With silver, you get 4. With gold, you get 7 credits. With platinum, you get 21 credits. Saying that, you introduce people to Mining City. Whatever plan that they make, you make money. The first bonuses that you can make money out of that is called the first 5 people, you get what you call 5%. From number 6 up to infinity, you get 10%. That's the first bonus. The second bonus is called binary cycle bonus. With the binary cycle bonus, with Mining City, you need about 5 credits on your left, 5 credits on your right, because Mining City use the system called binary. Bi means 2, left and right. With binary system, let's say that you introduce 2 people, both of them buy what you call a gold plan. Gold plan will give you 7 credits. You take 1 person, you put it on your left, and 1 person, you put it on your right. Mining City comes midnight on that day, will minus 5 credits on your left and minus 5 credits on your right, and give you your first $200, which is called your binary cycle bonus. That's the second way of making money with Mining City. Then your next goal as you grow into this business is to help people that you've introduced in this business to make their first $200. By helping them, when they make their first $200, you, Mining City, assume that you've played the role in helping those people to get their first $200. Mining City, every time anyone in your team gets $200, Mining City rewards you with what you call a matchup bonus, which is $10. You want to be part of Mining City. The person that has sent you this video will send you a referral link to be part of the Mining City. Cheers.